Hi, I'm Brian Brunius of the New York City Reiki Center. I get emails pretty often asking why my Reiki Level 1 class is 16 hours over 2 days. And the answer is pretty simple. We practice a lot of Reiki in the class. The class is divided into 4 sections of about 4 hours each. That's why it's 16 hours. In each section of the class, I use my hands to demonstrate for the students some part of the Reiki treatment that I do on my own clients. Then I tell them a part of the Reiki story. It's a chance to give them an energetic connection to the founders of Reiki, Mikao Usui, the man who went on a quest and discovered Reiki on top of Mount Kurama in Japan. His student, Chujiro Hayashi, a medical doctor who learned Reiki and adapted it and created the hand positions that we use today. I tell them about Hayashi's student, Hawayo Takada, the Japanese Hawaiian woman who learned Reiki in Japan and was responsible for later bringing it to North America. And I tell them a lot about my teacher, John Harvey Gray, the man who learned Reiki from Hawayo Takada and brought it to the East Coast of the United States, where eventually I learned from him. I'm so grateful to John for teaching me and for holding the teachings of Reiki that he learned from Takada in such an honorable way. He didn't dilute anything that she taught. He didn't change anything that she taught. He held her teachings as very sacred, and so he preserved them in a really pristine way. And because of that, I got to learn a really true and original form of Reiki that Hawayo Takada brought from Japan to America. After I tell the students the story of the founders of Reiki, I give them a meditative initiation. Some people call it an attunement. And this is an energetic procedure that connects the students to the source of Reiki energy. During the class, they'll receive this initiation 4 times. The 4th one is the one that locks it in and seals it and makes it permanent so that students will always have a strong connection to the source of Reiki. Finally, after the initiation, the students get on the massage table and they practice giving each other Reiki treatments. What that means is that during the course of the class, each student will receive the 4 initiations. They will hear 4 parts of the Reiki story and make a connection to each of the masters in our lineage. And they will give many Reiki treatments so that they feel confident by the time they leave that they know how to do Reiki and they can do it anywhere at any time. And they will have received 3 or 4 Reiki treatments. So when they leave the class, they'll leave knowing what it feels like to receive Reiki and knowing what it feels like to receive enough Reiki that things start moving inside of them, that old things start healing. You know, we start letting go of old emotions, old pains, old memories, and people leave the class just looking different than they did when they arrived. They feel freer, they feel lighter, they feel like they have a new direction in their life. And they have the skills of Reiki self-treatment. So using their own hands every day and applying Reiki to themselves, they'll be able to change their own lives. One other thing we do in the class, and I think it's a really important aspect of our class, is that we use the Reiki Precepts, and I teach it to the students as a daily practice. One day before his death, Mikao Usui wrote for his students these precepts of Reiki. We call them the spiritual precepts in English. We can't read them in Japanese, so we use a translation. And the practice of the Reiki precepts is a very simple one, but a very important one for bringing students back into the present moment. All of us get carried away in our lives by fear and worry and anxiety and all the things that humans are prone to. And the Reiki precepts are a way twice a day, morning and evening, to come back to our center and using our hands with Reiki to correct anywhere we've gotten off course in our lives. So I teach that as part of my class, and it's part of the Reiki way of life. And I hope if you take my class that it will become part of your way of life so that you can live a more centered and a more balanced way and really get in touch with the deepest, truest parts of yourself. I hope I've answered your questions. Thank you very much.